Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. In this lecture, I am talking about the muscle attachment to the scapula. And firstly, I am talking about the muscle attached to the border of scapula. And number one, muscle attached to the medial border of the scapula. This is medial border of scapula. In the medial border, anteriorly, there are insertion of the serratus muscle. Here is insertion of the serratus muscle. While in the medial border, posteriorly, there are insertion of the three muscle. Number one, levator scapular muscle. Above to the root of spine, this is root of spine, above to it is insertion of the levator scapular muscle. Number two, in the medial border, in the triangular area, in front the root of spine, there are insertion of the rhomboid minor muscle. Here is insertion of the rhomboid minor muscle, while below it is insertion of the rhomboid major muscle. Here is insertion of the rhomboid major muscle. This is muscle attached to the medial border. Now I am talking about the muscle attached to the lateral border of the scapula. And number one, above 2/3 of the lateral border, there are origin of the teres minor muscle. Here is origin of the teres minor muscle. While the lower 1/3 and pass in the dorsal surface to the inferior angle is origin of the teres major muscle. Here is origin of the teres major muscle. In the tip of the inferior angle, there are origin of the latissimus dorsi muscle. Here is origin of the latissimus dorsi muscle. Now I am talking about the muscle attached to the major bony process of the scapula. And I am talking about muscle attached to the spine of scapula. And in the inferior lip of the spine of the scapula, there are origin of the deltoid muscle. Here is origin of the deltoid muscle. While in the superior lip of the spine of the scapula, there are insertion of the trapezius muscle. Here is insertion of the trapezius muscle. The deltoid muscle is continue to the acromion process, and the trapezius muscle is continue to the acromion process. In the coracoid process, in the tip of the coracoid process, there are origin of the two muscle. Number one, short head of biceps brachii muscle, and number two, coracobrachialis muscle. In the border of the coracoid process, there are insertion of the pectoralis minor muscle. Here is insertion of the pectoralis minor muscle. And now I am talking about the muscle attached to the tubercle of the scapula. And in the supraglenoid tubercle, there are origin of the long head of biceps muscle. While in the infraglenoid tubercle, there are origin of the long head of the triceps. And finally, I am talking about the muscle attached to the fossa of scapula. And number one, in subscapular fossa, there are origin of the subscapularis muscle. Here is origin of the subscapularis muscle. While in the dorsal surface, in the supraspinous fossa, there are origin of the supraspinatus muscle. And infraspinous fossa, there are origin of the infraspinatus muscle. Thank you.